Now we're doing the thing. This is Will, the beer champion, with my guest. Actually, I think you're on this side of me, Damien. His last name I can never pronounce right.
Yeah, I'm Damian DeBuiser from the Brew Happy Show.
Yeah, the Brew Happy Show. What is the longest running podcast in the Pacific Northwest, isn't it?
Technically, I've been doing the podcast since November of 2009. If you count all the way back to the PSU day, the KPSU days.
Oh wow, yeah. So podcasting before it was cool.
Yeah. Back when it was known as audio blogging in the late 1990s and early aughts.
Oh, nice. Oh, so for the audience, what do you got in your glass there?
So I went to John's Marketplace and I got a Delirium Delirium Red. It's a Belgian ale with cherry and elderberry. My Halloween pairing is an Almond Joy. I was originally going to go with Tootsie Rolls, but we ate those all, and all we got left is the Almond Joys.
Yeah, coconut and cherries. I mean, sounds like a decent pairing to me. What's the Delirium Red clock in at for alcohol?
Oh gosh, let's see here. We are looking at, let's say on here. Oh, I don't know. Oh, 8%.
Oh, good. A good lunchtime beer.
Yeah, 8% on the nose.
For me, yeah, that's a yeah. Tell us about the pairing. Tell us about yourself too. I've been recording for a while. We met probably 2011, 2010.
Yeah, right around the time I rebooted the show to a weekly format.
Oh, you know what? I remember just after it started the Growler, we did a show together at Columbia River Brewing, which was one of my favorite beer pairings. Rick, the owner, he'd never done a beer and food dinner before, and so he was coming into this with a great brewer's experience, but with no like technical food and beer pairing.
Yeah.
If you recall, he pretty much every course was a full meal, and every pint was a full pint. And so by the time we got to, he was doing it for his Bavarian Hefeweizen that he just released.
Yeah.
And every pairing that he had, he poured pretty much a whole pint of the Bavarian Hefeweizen.
Go bigger.
But the weird thing was that most of the pairings worked pretty well. That's something I'd never heard of or seen of before, is just doing one beer for every single course and trying to make all the courses work with the beer instead of trying to make the beers work with the courses.
Right.
But they did work really well.
Yeah. I thought it was one of the first like official food and beer pairings I think that I went to. I still have pictures from that somewhere.
Yeah, I probably do too. Probably a few of them landed in the Growler somewhere, which exists, I don't know, some library. But yeah, so today I am going with the classic Tootsie Roll, which comes in many different forms, shapes, and sizes.
Cotton candy, good to go. Let me see your rolls.
And today I'm going with the Negro Modelo.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, good choice.
Oh, yeah. I always love to think about this beer because this beer was influenced by German immigrants. It was influenced by the Schwarzbier, which you don't see a lot anymore. These amber lagers. But I like it with the Tootsie Roll. It's light, it's caramely. I mean, they're both light and caramely and delightful. Easy to approach. Tootsie Rolls came out in like 1907 in Chicago. Leo Hirschfeld, the inventor of the Tootsie Roll, and later victim to suicide. I don't know what it was about the early candy makers, but a lot of them commit suicide.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's the darndest thing.
That's sad.
But the candy's delicious, so we're gonna do that.
Yeah, I think I don't know. Maybe when like all you got in life is candy, and I don't know. Maybe yeah, I don't know. That is weird.
It's a strange thing. It was one
And
of the first. They used to have these things called penny candies, where you wrap individual candies, and it was the first wrapped one that they had for sale. These days they're making like 64 million Tootsie Rolls a day.
oh wow,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I think I actually went to Delirium once. I got lost. It's the one in Belgium, back behind all those winding sidewalks, right?
Ah, color me jealous. That would be cool.
Yeah, it was oh gosh, do you remember the tap wars where everyone was like rushing to get as many taps in one location as possible? Like Green Dragon, you used to work at the Green Dragon, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right. And they were like, we've got 40 taps. And then someone would be like, well, we've got 45 taps. And someone would be like, I've got 112 taps and none of them are good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Delirium, they've got a similar thing where they've got like a beer book if you go in, and it's like 100 pages long of all of the things that they have available.
Yeah.
Hmm. The things we get into. And here I am drinking a Negro Modelo, which is owned by AB and Bev. I'd say they've got bad beers, but they've got a lot of beers.
Wow. I did a little research real quick here about the almond joy that I'm eating,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's candy bar manufactured by Hershey's, which a lot of people probably knew.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been around since 1946, 76 years.
76 years of the almond joy. I would not thought it would have lasted in the 50s. Like coconut chocolate. I wouldn't have. I mean, so many people have it out for coconuts for some reason.
Yeah, it was introduced alongside Mounds, and a guy named Peter Paul from Cadbury had come up with it originally.
Like from Cadbury eggs.
It's gluten free.
Oh, that was the least of my worries, but good to know.
Oh, me too. I'm an omnivore.
Mm-hmm. I hear there's a cream for that now.
Yeah, and you know what? I gotta say, as pairings go, the Delirium Red with cherry and elderberry goes really, really well with the almond joy.
Nice. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, a big part of the show is that like you can take a simple food and pair it with a lot of different things.
Yeah.
You don't have to get overly complicated to make it good. Just, try and enjoy yourself. I think
And your show includes tacos at times?
at times, yeah. Tacos, pizza, and beer. Because who doesn't love tacos and pizza? Like everyone loves tacos and pizza.
There's a really great spot. Well, so Columbia, we were just talking about Columbia River Brewing, and Pono Brewing is in that spot now.
Oh, nice.
Really great menu. I think they do some like little tacos on their appetizer menu. It's like little Filipino tacos. My way through the menu, very small and doable menu. So I've been looking forward to exploring that. But I've also been spending a lot of time at level 3 because I've been helping Bronwyn, my fiance Bronwyn, the Green Goddess Botanic, doing her plant thing at a lot of different breweries. And so we just rearranged the entire patio over at Level Beer's third location, level 3. And they have a really great taco truck there called Nacho Taco. And honestly, some of the best tacos I've had in Portland. And that's coming from a guy that's been here since March of 06.
Yeah, this is
I've had a lot of
good taco town.
a lot of tacos, and they do a really good job.
Well, nice. I always love a good taco. Well,
Ooh.
even a bad taco, and it's a taco on its first day is probably not the worst thing in the world that you're gonna get.
Yeah, yeah. I've never been insulted by a taco.
Yeah, like if I'm in the mood for a Jack in the Box taco, I'm just in the mood for a Jack in the Box taco, and it might be the worst taco. It's still not a bad thing.
Definitely the worst taco, but I'll still take it.
Yeah, I know. Right? Like I'm just like it's like, oh, so it's the worst taco, so you don't want it? It's like, no, 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 give me like 20 of them. Because sometimes you just need 20 of those. Like I worked at a Jack in the Box, and it's like I'll still eat Jack in the Box tacos.
Jack in the Box tacos, just fine. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
Mm.
Halloween candy though. I never see Tootsie Rolls, and then I also never see like the weird flavored Tootsie Rolls, the fruit chews that come out this time, like this time of year, but no other time of the year.
You're right. I love all the different flavored Tootsie Rolls, and they don't. Yeah, they should be out year round. I like the pink ones.
Oh yeah, the pink ones. I got a vanilla one here, which I always
Vanilla
forget.
ones are a little overdone, but yeah, I like the vanilla ones.
Yeah. We had a heated debate last night at work about which is the best Starburst. It's
Oh,
pink, obviously. It's pink. But yeah, there was like one person who was like, "No, yellow is the best." No, so there was one person who said orange is the best, and that's
yeah.
just that is nonsense. I thought they were trying to pull a joke or something, but no, just nonsense. Oof. Ooh. Anyway, that's pretty much the show. It's you take something and you take something, a little history, and then pretty much it, and just hang out and mouth off to each other.
Yeah, I'm gonna put you over here.
So other than that, what's going on in your life? Plug anything? I don't know if I have enough viewers that it's gonna get anywhere. There it is, the Brew Happy Show.
Yeah, there we are, right there.
So 13th year.
Technically, we're doing season 10, but yeah, overall, it is we are in our 13th year, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah, the Brew Happy Empire persists.
Yeah, it sure does. I've been having a lot of fun. Meeting different people in the industry. We just went to Great American Beer Festival again. For God, I think we have to have gone about 7 or 8 times by now, and we had gone. I think the first time Brew Happy went, I sent my original crew back in 2010, and then I went on my own in 2011, and then the new crew and I started going in 2013. So I think I've been probably about 7 or 8 times myself.
Yeah,
and then Brew Happy has been there at least once or twice more than I.
Yeah, I saw a picture come up in my timeline recently that was you and me at GABF.
Oh, yeah. I think that was that might have been 2014.
2014? Yeah, I always felt
or 2015.
Yeah, it is difficult to be in the media over there because first you're at high elevations, and second, all of the media events, they start at like 9 a.m. And so most people are like, oh yeah, I'm 2 beers in, I'm going to go take a nap. It's like, sorry, you've got like 4 more beer tours to go on.
Oh my God. And that's like one of the exciting things, especially if you have media access, as we do. And you get to do the Sam Adams brunch.
The brunch, yeah.
Which is something I always look forward to. This year, we got to speak also with Sam Calgione from Dogfish Head Brewing.
Nice.
And both he and Jim Cook shared some stories, and it was emotional. It was emotional. Like they both got a little misty talking about, history and stuff, and you could tell it was genuine. And, they're they're flirting the line on being between big beer and craft beer.
Yeah,
But
Jim
especially
especially.
since they've merged.
Oh, have they
Yeah,
now?
but it's they're definitely both companies that have you know done a lot of trailblazing for the industry overall. And so,
Yeah.
there's a lot of love and a lot of accolades that they've collected over the years. And
All of them.
yeah, just so many good things have come out of both of those brands. So
Yeah,
I'll raise my glass to either of those folks anytime.
nice. That's good of you. I'm sure they'd raise it right back. And they'd probably raise it right
Ooh.
back with a little bit more beer in it.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, so yeah, GABF was a lot of fun. I think it was smaller than it's been in some of the more recent years past that I've gone. But
Sure.
I think it was better having less people and being a little bit smaller. It was easier to get around. It was easier to
Hmm.
find things. Um, and coming out of COVID, on the heels of COVID, where people are a little uh, xenophobic still. There's still a little bit of that residual xenophobia. So it's a little weird being around so many people. It wasn't. It was digestible. So I think it was easy to have a good time and just kind of focus on, oh, what's going on with that beer, or oh, what's going on with that brewery, and it's just really exciting to see some of the stuff that some of these breweries have come up with. I covered some of the winners this past year. I had to do a 2-part episode on my podcast and
Mm-hmm.
kind of break it up with some of the interviews that I did and some of the audio coverage that I did of the awards. And I got to talk with Ale Song and Von Ebert, both of which were breweries that won some awards. And then I got to talk to some folks that didn't win, but I went to their booths and they had really great beers, and it was just a real pleasure. There was a lot of more diversity out there in the industry that I saw. I talked to some female brewers and brewery owners about how excited they were, and some of those brands, they've been around like 8 years, and I hadn't they hadn't been on my radar for whatever reason. And so
Well,
it's
yeah.
always nice to be turned on to new
There's,
spots and
there's a few breweries out there.
see who survived and who's kind of emerged from the dust after it's settled.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to tuning back into the brewing industry after being away for a while. It's a wonderful group of people, yourself included, of course.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, that's one is it's always been really inclusive. There's a lot of creativity, and you just don't see that in a lot of other industries that I've worked for. There's always this competitive streak, it seems, where companies have their trade secrets and they don't want to they're divulge too much information. But in the brewing industry, it's a little different because
Absolutely.
people are swapping recipes back and forth. We have collabs, companies that do collabs. I think the brewing industry is probably one of the probably the first industry that introduced that concept.
Oh yeah, I don't know how many times I've just gone up to a brewer and be like, man, I really like I'm a home brewer from time to time, and they're so willing to just be like, oh, hey, try our house yeast, go make something with it and bring me some beers back.
Yeah,
Some of
and
the
that's
first beer I ever made
amazing.
was John Meyer over at Rogue, where I used to work. I was like, I really like this. It was called Pac-Man yeast, which works really well in a lot of different kinds of beer.
Yeah,
And you're just like, oh, here, take some, try it
They
out.
use that Pac-Man yeast for most of their beers.
Oh yeah, it's great yeast.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
They call it the Pac-Man yeast because
Oh yeah, it's so good at eating sugar.
Very active, yeah. Eats up all those fermentable sugars out of the grain build, and just got a lot of CO2 output, a lot of activity, a lot of propagation. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Pac-Man yeast is a good one.
I should reach out to them at some point.
Yeah. Rogue's doing good. They've never been a slouch. Even since the 80s, they've been carrying the torch for craft beer. Their global presence is unmatched.
Oh, absolutely. And their innovations when it comes to packaging. I mean, they helped popularize the growler. They helped bring in the Grolsch caps into the US. I mean,
screen printed bottles.
The bomber itself, the 22-ounce bottle, was one of theirs.
Yeah.
Although they also did try a thing called the nips. These are like these 7-ounce bottles they were using for their. We were talking about old crustacean barley wine. They tried to package that, but it never really took off. But
yeah,
the things that did last, they're pretty much everywhere now.
Yeah, and a lot of their beers, hold up, even the ones that aren't supposed to. I when I was doing marketing for them back in just after the Green Dragon days, I had a 22-ounce bomber of the PSU bike IPA that they had come out with. I can't remember what it's called. But I had come across an old bottle of that had collected dust in the back of my closet. And I was like, oh man, I think that thing's probably been in there maybe a year or two. And I was like, it's probably not going to be that great. It's an IPA. IPAs aren't really supposed to, they're not meant for, putting away and storing. But it still held up. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. Beer changes over time, sometimes for the worse, but sometimes it just becomes a better beer. Sometimes it's a just as good beer. But like, especially their styles of IPA, it's always interesting because you can take it out of the fridge and pour it, and as it warms, it changes character. The bitterness gives way to the malty sweetness, and so you get 2 or 3 different beers in one if you can manage to drink it over an hour instead of all at
once. Yeah, I got a few things still sitting in the closet, some stuff from the Deschutes' Abyss series.
Oh yeah.
And oh, Will, you're gonna love this. Believe it or not, I still have a bottle of the Flemish Kiss from the Commons. From the last day that they were open. It was gifted to me by I think it was Kyle. And so I should have opened that thing probably a year or so ago, but I'm gonna bring that to a bottle share.
Yeah.
See if it held up.
Yeah, I think that style of beer, it ages very well. Like I've had some of those sours 10, 15 years old, and they just get better with time.
Yeah, it's been in a cool, dark place, so hopefully, it's still a good beer. But I mean, Commons shut down. God, what year was that? That was
2017.
I was gonna say 2018, but I think you might be right. That was a sad day for craft beer.
Yeah,
but not a huge market for farmhouse styles. So it was unfortunate.
I mean, with like when Hair of the Dog shut down, I mean, that was one of the first bottle condition breweries we had in the US. But
yeah,
people hold on to those beers and then they don't go back for more.
Yeah, well, so the Allen is still brewing out of that location, but he's just not doing the pub thing anymore.
Oh, okay.
So we'll see. We'll still be able to access some Hair of the Dog, but it's going to be even more sporadic than it was before. And speaking of the Commons, who's in that spot now is my old roommate Conrad, and he's doing Living House beer. So it's called Living House. I've had some of the beers off the shelf, the Helles, their Pilsner. And it's been a real pleasure watching his career blossom from back in the day, 2015, 2016 days when we were living down the street from Culmination Brewing, and they were doing a lot of saisons back then, and I think that's one of the reasons he fell in love with the style there. And he cut his teeth under the command of Tomas Slider, and he was working alongside Sean Callis now from the Ruse Brewing with Devin Benoit, and all of those guys have just kind of gone off in their own circles and grown into their own just grown into their own, it's a lovely
thing about the brewing industry is people rarely stay at one place forever, and then take what they get from one place and take it to another place, and then everyone collaborates and continues to grow until it just becomes this wonderful extended family of cousins of cousins of cousins in the brewing industry.
There's it's definitely, you have a lot of overlap and crossover, and I think that's where that collaborative culture kind of comes from, is because a lot of these brewers, they worked with each other at some point, or they want to work with each other, and moving from one brew deck to another is it's just such a different experience. You can take, I think this is one of the reasons that breweries, they're not afraid of that secret stealing or anything like that, is because you can take the same recipe, you can adapt it to doing homebrew like you and I have done, or professional brewing. But when you extrapolate a recipe over to another brew deck, all of that setup is different. Your hot liquor tank is going to be in a different place. They may or may not have a whirlpool, and so there's a lot of parameters that are gonna that require attenuation, and a little bit. It's just always going to be just a little bit different, and it's always going to be that person's version or that brewery's version of how to get it right, which is, you look at companies like Breakside.
Apologies, Damien, but I'm
great consistency.
Out of time. I'd love to actually do this again sometime if you're willing. But for now, I'm out of Zoom time.
Oh, did I talk too long?
No worries. I love it. Like I said, I love having conversations with you. Viewer, I don't know who's watching this right now, but check out the Brew Happy Show. I'll post a link in the comments. If you
podcasts are found.
I don't know which direction it's going to be. If you have better pairings for the candy or for the beer, just leave them below in the comments. Otherwise, Damien, thank you very much. Have a lovely day.
Cheers.